when it comes to your friendship with Tupac, which you speak about so beautifully in the book, and it's so wonderful because we get an insight into him in a way that you don't as just a fan of the music.
Right.
So as someone who grew up listening to him myself, it's like you get a certain perception of someone who's intelligent, but then also has this gangster lifestyle persona, etc. But then again, when you get context and you get to know about someone through someone who actually knows them.
Right.
And what I really appreciated, which I found fascinating, was just how you had the wisdom at that time to know that someone would be a special friend without being romantic with them.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it, because I feel like a lot of people struggle.
Yeah.
He was obviously into you when you first met, etc., the way you describe it, but it's like, and there's even one point where you dare him to kiss you. Yeah,
exactly.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell that. But what I find fascinating and what I want to help people with here is like, how were you able to create and build a relationship with someone, knowing initially that it was based on some attraction,
right?
But actually you knew there was so much more to it. How were you able to allow that to unfold? Because I think so many of us get so scared if we're not into someone, we go, oh God, I'm just going to push them away.
Yeah.
Or that person eventually tries to make a move anyway. But here it was like this beautiful respect, you both created that.
Yeah, we both did. We both had the intelligence. You know, we were both really young. So I thank the great Supreme for this too, that there was no physical chemistry between us. I mean, literally. It was like, and I try to explain this to people. It was the same for Pac. It was just like when I dared him to kiss me, it was like, ew, for us both, right? And it's like, how can that be? How can you feel so connected to someone of the opposite sex? There was just this beautiful understanding. You know, when you can just sit with somebody in a room and you don't have to say a word. Mm-hmm. And there's just this level of comfort. Yeah. We just knew each other. Mm. The moment Pac saw me and our eyes, and I saw his peanut head across the room at Baltimore School for the Arts, it was like I knew him already. Mm. We just got each other. I just understood him in that understanding. And he understood me. So we could pull each other's coattails, but we could also join each other. When I talk about that joining, when you can sit with somebody and really feel like they see you, they understand you, they care about you, and they're going to be there by you no matter what. That was Tupac. Mm. He was going to ride with me no matter what. He was so authentic. And it's rare that level of authenticity. And he wore his heart on his sleeve. And there was just this amount of loyalty between us. And I think also the fact that we both struggled with mothers who were addicts. And we tried to compensate for one another of not having that peace. Mm-hmm. And we didn't boo-hoo about it. We understood how to fill in the voids without getting all hallmarky about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we just kind of knew how to flow with each other in a way that was very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's always hard to kind of explain because it was like, it's almost like he was really a kindred. That's the only way I could really explain it. And I feel so lucky and so blessed that I got to know a being like himself in that way, because he was such a dynamic person. But you can feel it because his music is still lasting for generations now.
Absolutely.
You know, so he was just a treasure.
Teach us, what's the difference between sexual chemistry and energetic connection or authentic connection? Because I think we often think that to get close to someone, you need that. And here, it's not just about the fact that there wasn't attraction or what it was. There's more to it in that I feel like there's a subtle difference in how you were able to accept that there is a authentic connection, but it doesn't have to include a physical chemistry in order to have a deep energetic connection, if that makes sense
I actually think in my experience, some of the deepest connections that I've had with men have not included sex whatsoever, right? And I think that sex sometimes can cloud things. A lot of things come in that a lot of people don't understand. So you know, whether it's like certain levels of emotional trauma, all these kinds of things. Energetically, the heart-to-heart spirit space has a level of purity to it, where even if things get difficult, like when things would get challenging with Pac and I, we could get to it fast. And there's just a level of purity. And it's not attached to, I want to make things right with you so I can sleep with you.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Agenda. It's not that agenda. The agendas are pure. They're more pure, and it has more space. It's like, I love you, but you got to live your life. I
can
love you.
Be truthful.
I can be truthful. I can be honest. I think that with us, I could be more of myself, because one thing I knew about Pac, I never had to worry about, you know, when we had big blow-ups, which we did all the time, he's coming back. I never worried about that. I never worried about, oh my God, Tupac is there. No, he ain't gonna, listen, whether it's a year, a week, 3 days, I had to love all that Pac was. He loved all that I was, the good and the bad. And he was gonna be right there with that. And vice versa. That was one of the most beautiful aspects of our relationship. We didn't have to fake it. We didn't have to like pretend to be other things. And we could be honest. He could pull my coattails. I could pull his coattails. I could give him all the praise and love on him all I wanted to, and not have to worry about, oh, now we're going to have sex. You know, like none of that. Because that wasn't happening. We just didn't have that chemistry. We just didn't have it.
Yeah.
I think if Pac had survived Vegas, he and Will would have ended up being really good friends. You know, they would have had a lot to offer one another. And funny enough, Will was the only person, when I started dating him, Pac never said anything. If I dated anybody else, Pac had something to say. He didn't think anybody was good enough, which I understand, right? But when I started dating Will, he didn't say anything, which meant to me, in his own way, he approved.
Yeah, wait, right, for anything.
Right, he didn't say anything, which was like, okay, and not a word, which made me believe he approved.